Go, because the computer's being weird today. Let's see what it's going to do. It's working. All right, first thing we need to do is we need to create what's called a horizon line. And what the horizon line is where the ground starts and stops, where it stops and the sky starts. So we're going to come just a little ways up our house. We're going to come and we're going to put a horizontal line that goes all the way across, not through the house, but behind the house, just like that, just a little line. Try to make sure it goes right across from each other. And then from that little line, I'm going to color everything in. And I'm even going to color right there between that post, because that's background. I'm using the side of my pencil. I want that fuzzy looking stuff by the side of my pencil, not hard lines. And the only way you get that fuzzy looking kind of shading, I think you know what I mean when I say fuzzy, is by using the side of your pencil. Now we could leave it like that really textured look, or we can smoothen it out. And I think we'll go ahead and smoothen it out, because why not? And I'm going to make it just a little darker than what you'd think you should, because what happens when you rub it with the Kleenex? It does. It gets a lot lighter. So we're going to go just a little bit darker. We're not going to go black. We're just going to get a little bit darker, because it will go a little bit lighter. This is actually going to look pretty cool when it's done. Okay, now is when I want to smooth it out. So between this post and the house, if you did draw that little space, do that spot first, because we don't want that to get too dark. So I'm just doing that little spot first. Then I'll come out here and do this. And when you get close to your little cat there, be a little careful around the cat. If you kind of smear your cat away and it gets all light looking, just redraw the cat after you finish the smearing. Is there anybody that needs more time to finish up that smearing? Okay, looks like there's a few of you. I'll slow down. I am going to do something a little different on this one. We're going to put in the clouds before we put in the ghosts. We're going to do the clouds first, because when we do the ghosts and we do the erasing stuff, it'll erase the clouds just like it does the wings on the ghosts and stuff. So we'll do it in that order. We are going to put a couple of ghosts in here, but that won't be for a second. All right, we all got the ground done. Anybody not? All right, don't see any hands. Move this up. We know how to do this. We're just going to kind of do it together so we don't get too much graphite or too much white. So I'm going to just take right here at the top, side of my pencil again, and I'm just going to take it all the way across, just a little ways down. This time, I want that sky to go all the way across. I'll alter it here in just a second. So I'm putting just kind of a strip across the top. It's about a 1/4 inch. It's not real big. And now we'll have some fun with that and start to break it up. That's just to make sure we got it all the way across the top. Then I'm going to come over here and bring it down a little bit further. And I'm going to angle it down towards the middle. Now I'm not going like this. I don't have my pencil. I'm not going like this. My lines are still going back and forth. Okay? But I'm making it come to a point right there. That's all I'm doing. I'll come over here kind of above the top of my little steeple right here, the highest part of the house. Put a little point right there. Notice I'm going back and forth, back and forth. I'm not going up and down. Okay, it's horizontal. And then I'll make it a little bit narrower and then let it widen out just a little bit as it gets up to the cloud. So it goes wide, skinny wide as it gets up to the top. This is a little light, so I'm going to just darken it a little bit. I'll also make it easier for you to see. I can almost see a letter Z right there. Mark of Zorro, right there. Most of you are like, who? I'm going to bring one more little point right here that kind of points to this opening. And just take that right off the end of the paper there. So hopefully that's pretty clear for you guys to see. I want to do this sky so we can get on to the fun stuff. The sky's cool. I mean, it kind of makes the vibe of the picture, you know, kind of dark and gloomy. But I want to get to adding the other stuff because it's a lot of fun. All right, so here is a little trick when we're creating sky. Here, I want everybody looking at the screen right now because I see this over and over and over again, and this is something we want to avoid. I don't want to come in here now and put another dark spot right below that one. I don't want to come in here and put another dark spot right below that one or one right below. I want to go in between. See, there's an opening right there? So now I'll come down here, put my next cloud on there, and it's in between, starts in between the two, okay? Now I can go all the way to the edge if I want it to, but I don't. I'm just going to put a little bit in there. And then I got an opening over here, and I'm going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to start my cloud right here, kind of where it's a little bit more open. I might make that one kind of a small one. That's probably my smallest one on there right now. So I want to keep breaking it up. I don't want to have it look, okay, same shape here, same shape here, same. We don't want to look like a robot drawing this, okay? Hopefully I have a little more creativity than AI even. And then I'm going to put a little tiny one right there to create another opening right here. Okay, our next one, we're going to come from here and work over this way. So I'm going to come from right at the edge of my page. I'm going to bring it down. Bring it right over here. I'm going right beneath my opening over there. Almost kind of a bird shape to it, but I am going side to side. Okay, the next one, I'm going to start where this opening is right here, kind of bring it up towards the opening. I'm going to work my way over towards where the house is right there. Down a little bit. Make this one kind of a fatter one. So just past the top of the house. Make it a little darker so you can see it better. We're just trying to do this a section at a time because I don't want to get a bunch of little short clouds. Little short one, little short one, little short one. I need it to look like clouds, and they go along the horizon. They get stretched out a little bit. So is anybody having a hard time keeping up, or are we all good? All right, next one right here. I'm going to go right from the edge of the house. Now, if you go a little bit in your house while you're doing this, it's not a big deal because you've already smeared it and shaded it in. You won't even see it if you went in a little bit there. A little point comes out that side. Let her in, thank you. Then I'm going to come out the other side. So like that cloud goes behind my house. And then I'm going to come from behind this part of the house. I'm going to do kind of a skinny one that gets wider as I get away from the house. I'm going to bring that all the way over to the edge. I'm going to let that one be a pretty big one, actually. I'm going to come over here at this part of my house, and I'm going to make this one wider to start with. Let it get smaller as it works its way to the left. As I get closer to the ground here, I'm going to start making these cloud shapes a little bit bigger. We will put some here and here in just a minute, but for now we're just trying to fill this in. Okay, now we're going to get down close to where our grass is, and we're going to put a great big one right here. It's going to go all the way over to the house. A little bit narrow there and go all the way to the ground and all the way back. I might have to end up making that ground just a little bit darker, but right now I think it's going to be okay. I'm going to come over here to this side and I'm going to do something just like it over here too. Bring a little pointy one there, and this one I'm actually going to bring all the way into the house. Just leaving a little white spot right in here. Give you a second to catch up, and then I'm going to put two more little clouds in here. Actually, the funny thing is these aren't really the clouds. They're actually kind of the sky. It's the white part that actually forms the cloud. So it's important to kind of remember that. I'm going to put one just right here that comes out near this one. Goes off the edge of the page, and maybe one right here does the same thing, goes off the page. I might leave a little opening there. Now if yours isn't exactly like that, we're still okay as long as you're close. The whole idea is making sure, look at all that white that I got in between. I want that white to stay there. I don't want to cover that up much. Okay? It's important that we have lots of white showing through. If you get it all covered up, then it all starts looking like a big gray blob back there. All right, now the fun stuff. Start at the top. Now remember, when you're doing this, you're putting your hand in a little circular motion. You're not going like this. You're not going like this. You're going around and around because you're trying to think in terms of fluffy cloud. Okay, they're kind of round and puffy. So that's the way you want to rub on your paper. So it creates kind of a round, puffy cloud. Try to leave, like I say, as much white in between as you can and smoothing everything out. Now I could easily over rub it and all the white would go away, but I don't want the white to go away. I want it to stay. Might get a little messy doing this. I'm going to predict that I will need, my hands are getting already a little bit on, that I'll need to wash my hands after I finish this part. That's fine. That's what we'll do here in a minute. For now, just get it ready. Say, be a little careful you don't over rub and get rid of all that white in between. Kind of need to have that. And if you're using a Kleenex, check once in a while that you haven't rubbed the hole all the way through it and your finger's poking through. You don't really want the oil from your finger rubbing all over your paper. Because everywhere you get oil on your paper from your finger, you get one of these. That's a fingerprint right there. Right there. And it's going to have a few on there, but no big deal. Just don't want a million of them on there. So I'm just going to work my way all the way through this drawing, all through the back, all through the clouds, getting it all softened up. Now when you get to the edge, make sure you rub it all the way off your paper so you don't get like a little white glow going down the edge of your paper. Yeah, it looks kind of spooky. That's kind of what we want. I'm going to make my ground just a little bit darker where they come together so my ground stands out from my sky. I'm just putting, like, if it were paint, it'd be like one more coat of paint kind of thing. I don't need to take it all the way to the bottom, just enough to make sure that it's darker than the sky. Kind of about where I get to the cats, where I'll sort of stop and then just blend everything together. Just like that, that's darker. Kind of neat, actually. And by the way, this technique and all this stuff I'm showing you, a lot of schools, particularly like junior high, middle school kind of thing, they wouldn't teach you this yet. The reason I'm doing this in here is because I've already seen that you can do it. You can figure it out. These skies, these clouds are usually taught like at the high school level, sometimes college level. But you guys got it figured out, and they look really cool. And it's not very hard to do, so that's why we're doing them. Okay, now I don't know how the rest of your hands look, but mine's a mess. So I'm going to wash my hands before I do anything else. You're welcome to do so as well. Your hands aren't messy, don't worry about it. Okay, let's go quick because the video's still running, so when you guys got to watch these, it makes for a long pause that nothing's going on, so got to go fast. Hurry up. Just spit in there. Oh, wait. All right, sit down. We're going to go. We're going to do the next part. Get to your seat, or I'm going to just go ahead without you, and you're going to just get left behind. All right, over here on this side, we're going to learn to draw with our eraser a little more. So here's where we're going to do that. We're going to add some gravestones. Now, when you do gravestones, especially older ones, they're not going to be perfectly straight up and down because they've been in the ground. They start to settle. So I'm going to come over here, and with my eraser, right where the ground and sky come together, I'm going to make a little U shape that's kind of leaning off to the left. See that little U shape? And this is kind of a cool technique. Then I'm going to take and erase lightly, not everything in it, just kind of come down there and just drag my eraser over it. I don't want it to be too light. I'm just going to lighten it up a little bit. Now I'm going to zoom in so you can see what I'm doing on this. Hopefully it'll be easier for you to see right here. Okay. Here's what's cool. Here's what makes it look a lot like an old gravestone. We're going to come over to the side and then bring this line up right to the top like that. Just creating that right there. And then we're just going to take our pencil. You can hold it upright. Just color that in. I want it to look a little rough, so I'm not going to smooth that out. This is an old gravestone, so I don't want to smooth it out. I want it rough looking. Hopefully you're keeping up with me on this. Now I drew that a little bigger than I normally would, but I want you to be able to see it clearly as I'm illustrating it. Okay, behind it, I'm going to take my pencil, kind of using the side, and I'm going to just make little teeny, using the side, little teeny blades of grass. Okay, just little tiny. It's like, come on, focus, 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 focus. Wake up, camera. I hate when it does this. Try to get the focus. Doesn't want to. Come on. Well, just being dumb. I don't know why it won't focus here. Maybe. There, you can see it a little bit better right there. So I've got some right there. That's kind of to the side of it. Now I'm going to put some in front a little bit. I'm going to have it going both ways. Make sure you don't get it too far up into here. And then behind it right here, I'm going to put just a little bit right back here. And this is going to be a little bit darker because it's kind of behind our tombstone there. Okay. Now the trouble with that is after you draw that, that looks kind of dark against that, all that soft stuff, so then I'm just barely going to touch it with my Kleenex or paper towel. Just enough to soften it a little bit, and then it looks more like, well, that's naturally there. Kind of hard to tell it wasn't just growing like that. Can I get you to let her in, please? Okay, right here, we're going to baffle your minds and make you spell a big hard word. We're going to put an R right there. We're going to put an I right here. We're going to put a P right there. Just try to make it fit. R.I.P. Rest in peace. Okay? And I'm just going to put a little line, underneath it. We got that gravestone done. Okay, that gravestone looks a little bright to me, so I'm just going to color it a little bit. Make it a little more gray. And now it's done. Okay, that's a typical shape for a gravestone. Now we're going to come over here and lightly leaning the other way, just using the side of my pencil. That's diagonal, leaning the other way. And then I'm going to come over here, make it the same width going that way, and we created a cross. However, that cross isn't done. It's just started. And I want it kind of, foggy, misty looking because it's kind of that kind of environment. However, we want this to look more two-dimensional. Here's where the magic happens. Hopefully everybody has that. Anybody need a second to get that cross on there? Okay, get that on there because I want everybody to see the magic happen at the same time. Because this is pretty cool, actually. So it goes from looking fuzzy like that, and we're going to make it look more two-dimensional with just a few lines. Okay, I'm going to pop this on there now. Here's the magic. Come down this right side. And I'm going to go just a little darker right down that side, just like that, down into the grass. And then I'm going to come up this side of it. I'm going to skip over. Don't put it right through there. Don't put it right through the center of your crossbar. Then I'm going to come across the other way on the bottom of that little crossbar, and then right here. And if I have it on the right side of this board, then it's got to be on the right end of this board. You don't put it on this side, it's just on one side. And now, we have a pretty good little cross right there. It looks kind of old and weathered. And let's just put a little grass around it too, kind of growing at the base a little bit longer. You don't need to put like 5,000 blades of grass, just a few is all you need. Now we're going to put 2 more gravestones in here. I want you to pay attention. You've learned how to do it once. Same process. I'm going to keep this leaning back like these are all leaning to this side. I'm going to draw a little smaller one right here. And then I might make another one right here. It's a little bit taller. I'm going to do the same thing, just kind of erase it out just a little bit, not too much, because I want it to stay pretty gray. And now you remember what we did to make it look like it's three-dimensional. We just come along the left edge, wide to skinny. Darken that in. Same thing over here. And we can put a little grass around it. Okay, remember this is recording, so keep the noise down, please. And I'm not going to write anything on those. Those are the unknown graves. Okay, we're kind of working on the left side of our drawing right now. We'll work on the right side tomorrow, but we got the left side going. That actually hopefully it looks pretty good on yours too. If you can draw the letter U with your eraser, upside down anyway, and make a cross, you should have something that looks pretty good on your paper. All right, up here, we're going to do a ghost, and I'm going to have them leaning to the right. So don't draw this dark. I can't emphasize this enough. Don't draw this dark. In fact, I would almost rather not draw it, but you got to kind of see it. When I say not draw it, I'd rather do it at the side of my pencil so it stays soft. I'm going to try to do this dark enough that you can see it, but not so dark that this part of it shows up. This first line determines which way that body's going to go. Then I come out here this way. So I got kind of a big V leaning off to the right, and then I just kind of round it off at the top, bring it together. But don't draw that dark. Please don't draw that dark. You need to stay on the light side of things. I'm going to bring the arm up and bring it down. I don't want it going behind or touching the house. So I'm going to come over here and do the same thing. Bring it down. So up. Think in terms of a wing, what it would look like. I've done these before, so this isn't new. The only thing that's going to be new is how we finish this out and how it's going to look against the clouds, which, by the way, it should look pretty good. So if nothing else, it's kind of like drawing a little mustache off this side, a little mustache off this side, and just connecting it to the body. Down here at the bottom where the point comes together, it's kind of white on mine, so I'm just going to color that in a little bit and blend it right into the cloud. Just lightly blending it in, that's all I'm doing right there. And then I'm going to bring it up a little higher. You can see what I've done, just kind of blended it right into the cloud. That's what I want. This will be a little different than what we did last time, but you're going to like the effect. So if this is where my wing is, I'm just going to roughly put in a line so I know where it is. I'll just kind of do the same thing over here just so I know. I don't want that to be very dark. All the reason I'm doing that is just so I'm going to come in here and I'm going to color this in and blend it right into that sky gray in the background. Might go even slightly darker because I still need to rub this. And when I do, it will make this lighter. So it sort of looks like a silhouette, if you know what a silhouette is, kind of like a shadow in the sky. I think you guys are going to like what this looks like in the end. I know I like them. I think they look pretty cool. It'll be slightly different than what we did before, but I think it'll leave me better. Just a little bit darker on the ends here. A little bit darker on the tail end right here. Now what do I have missing? Yeah, where the face goes. Good job. Okay, so I'm going to just lightly come up in here, and I'm going to make a line that comes this way and then gets very close to the edge and comes back down. See how the distance from here to here is small and wide on this side, and very narrow when I'm talking about the outside edge? I want that. I want it a little bit narrow so it looks like he's kind of looking that way a little bit. So if you have it wider on this side, narrow on this side, it gives that kind of illusion. And then it overlaps right there at the base. Then I'm going to color that in just like we did before. Color it all in, then the top part we make a little bit darker. Hopefully you can see that all right. I know it's a little bit fuzzy. Maybe if I hold it up, you can see it a little bit better. I'm going to bring a line that kind of comes in right there. It's a fold, and then the one that comes right in here behind. Just going to make it a little bit dark so I can see it. Kind of where the back of his head goes. I wish, there it goes, it focused. That's all going to soften when we rub over here in a second. Okay, I got to make sure that this part of the body is darker than that sky behind him. Okay, I'm doing that on purpose. I need to make sure it's quite a bit darker. Now, time to do a little magic with the Kleenex. And come in here, just rub that, soften those little folds, do the inside of the face. And now I'm going to come out here and go along my wing. It's like that, and I'm just following along the direction that the wing would go. I'll come down the body. And do the other wing. If we've done it right, it should be darker than what's behind it. Okay? We want it to be a little darker than the area behind it. And it should be really out of focus looking. Look how focused that house is and how blurry that is. That's what we want right now. This is where it's going to look so awesome. Let me know if you need more time to do that. Does anybody need another second to get to this point? All right. Let's get there as quick as you can, and then we're going to turn this into a cool ghost. Now, when you guys draw with your erasers, try to keep your lines relatively thin. You don't want too fat. Do you need me to look at something real quick? Yeah, let me check it before we start. Just go darker. Everything's good. It's just too light. Okay, when you draw with your eraser, I'm going to come in and I'm going to lift it up just like that. And then I'm going to lift it up. And I'm going in the direction that that wing is going to go. Just, I'm giving that some direction to start with. And then I'm going to come over here and do the same thing. Swirl it around. And then it straightens out. And as it gets towards the body, it goes the other way. Those are just my guidelines to start with. That's all that is. I'm not trying to put all the details in. I'm just trying to get some guidelines so I don't go the wrong direction when I do put more on. Same thing goes with the body. I'm going to come up here and I go out and down, out, down, out, down, out, down, and down, 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 down. Okay. Those are just directional lines. Remember, don't cross your lines when you're drawing with an eraser. All right, now we'll just add a little bit more. I'm going to come in, a few more. I'm going in the exact same direction that I just did before. This makes it look more alive. A few more on the body. Come over here. Now the problem is if you get these eraser marks really wide, it doesn't look as cool, okay? So you want to keep them fairly small, fairly thin. And this little area on his face here is a little too light, so I'm just darkening it by rubbing it just a little more. Now I'll zoom in on that head. Because right here, this is where we use our eraser again and go just barely touching it along the edge that way, and along the top of that fold right there. Might even put another one right there. And that looks pretty good. And when I lift this up and away, we can see the ghost is in front of the clouds, which is kind of neat. And it kind of blends in and kind of doesn't at the same time, because it's a ghost. Should be kind of spooky, hard to focus on. Right, that one is finished, and I'm looking at the clock and thinking, great job, guys. We'll work on this tomorrow. We might even finish it.